Hello, everybody. We are going slightly different. We're trying something new out today, so we hope this all sort of works. Let's see, did the first part of this work?
It did, yes.
It's a good start.
It's a good start. We're rocking. We're getting here. We're getting here. So we'll do our next test here. Yes. Bad news, I've got more things I can mess about with.
Yes.
And
Duncan's got more buttons and we've got no buttons.
We have no control.
yeah, so there is no control at all here, and there's a maker and stuff like that. So, I don't know how to get rid of it now. Hide. Oh, there. So, I've got new buttons. I've got new buttons to press. There's other wee bits and bobs going on here as well. So I think it's time for everybody to be afraid.
Oh gosh.
So I'm hoping this looks slightly better or slightly different. We're giving this a blast for the next couple of weeks just to see how it goes, and if this works well, we'll get things all changed up here. And hi, Polaris as well. Thank you for joining. Yes, it is Killer Platypus. It is very much so. So we will just go round everybody here while I get other bits and bobs organised as well. So Barry, you can kick things off in Xbox land.
In Xbox land, what have I been doing in Xbox land? What have I been doing? That's a very good point. I've played some Rainbow Six. I've played some FIFA, although I can't play the FIFA that I have been playing anymore for a little while. But I've been playing some games of Rainbow Six, which has been great fun. Done a little bit more Myst. Don't think I've done anything else actually. I think that's pretty much been me actually for in the world of Xbox in the last week. Oh, a little bit more Quake as well.
A bit more Quake. Maker, I think we're going. I want you to go and have a big ramble about the game behind you as well. How do we talk beforehand? So, what game is that?
The Artful Escape. I honestly, I really enjoyed the game a lot. It is definitely a very relaxing game for me, because there's not a lot of mechanics to it. It's a lot of just having an experience, basically. And I described it as a psychedelic space rock opera with a light show, and that's basically what it is. Once you get into the game.
Yes, this is why this is bad. I've got things like this I can do here. So I'm going to have another fun talking to people and everything. But I was saying I've only played I think 15, 20 minutes of it, and it hasn't really grabbed me as yet. But you were saying get over them, and it does actually get a hell of a lot better.
Oh yeah, it becomes a lot more fun. The music and everything. It turns like when you first play it, he plays a little bit of kind of the rock that he wants to play and what he wants to go into, and so you start to see that more as you get further along into the game.
Cool. And Happy, what about your young self?
My young self. It's so good compliment to be young. I've been playing a little bit Forza 4. I have had not that much time to play this week, but I've been playing a little bit of Forza 4. And I jumped in a little bit back in the Outer World. I really enjoy that game. Really fun humor in that game. Really enjoy it. And a game that maker said I had to play that I haven't played. I played almost every Wolfenstein game, but I hadn't played the Old Blood. And I really started to play that, and I really enjoy it. But I did the big mistake this week. I actually started to play No Man's Sky because I want to play the new update. And I deleted my old files from vanilla days. So I have to start all over with everything. So I'm so happy to start all over again. So that's what my week has been.
Cool. Yes, I can still mute myself. So what have I been playing in Xbox land? I have been playing some games. Unfortunately. Oh yes, it's worry time here. I thought I kicked the habit. I haven't kicked the habit.
Oh dear. You went back in, didn't you?
I went back in. I've been playing Slay the Spire. It's bad. I feel my addiction is coming back, so I do. And what I have started Psychonauts. I'm enjoying what I'm playing with it. I haven't a Scooby-Doo what's going on in the game. It's going, what?
It's a really strange game.
It's really strange. I go, I picked these things up here now, the wee collectibles. I have to go back and give these to the purses and the luggage. I don't know how to get back to give them in again. Started the boss battle and stuff.
I will tell once you finish a level, there's a way to go back into each level.
I think I need to work that out because I thought, I could just go back to I thought it was like a hub area, and it wasn't a hub area. Or maybe
You say the first game, or is this the second?
The second.
Okay, in the second, if you go once you finish that first level, if you go to where it's not Forsyth. What's his name? The guy with the glasses that you're on the mission with. He's like your mentor.
Yeah, what I know what you mean, but I don't remember his name.
I'll just call him Scooby-Doo.
It's if you go into the agents area on the hub, if you go all the way down, there's a little machine there that you can go into and explore all the levels that after you've already been in them.
Cool. So I'm definitely going to play some more of that. I have to say, shocking enough, I have been playing more Xbox, and even Kelly would say that I've been playing some on xCloud as well. But I'm getting excited. We're coming into the fun season, and I hope people put in for the Halo stuff.
Yeah.
Did everybody remember to become a Halo insider?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, I've been an insider, so
Barry forgot. Barry. I haven't done it either because I'm not a big fan of Halo. But I haven't done that as well.
We only discussed that the other day as well.
Yes, I got Kelly to sign up.
I've been insider for a long time, but I haven't put in every detail before, so that's why I had to do this. Feel like a Q&A in a way that I had to put in all these details, what I'm playing on, everything. So I've been an insider for a long time, but they wanted more information. So
see, I'm not the only one. Look, Polaris forgot as well.
Yeah, there we go.
I know for PC it can be a bit extensive because you also have to give them the DX dialog file, so it shows all the your specs of your PC so that they know what you're running on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I signed up for both Xbox and PC, and it's funny because they constantly send me invites into the flightings, but I did not get into the previous Infinite flighting, and I was upset. I was like, man, you had me for like the season 7, you invited me to season 8, but you're not going to invite me to Infinite. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh dear. It's fun. Okay, we've got a ton of news to go through. So where do we start? Do we start with the games? Do we start with sales? Or do we start with the Xbox expanding out?
I think we should start with the upcoming games, and then we'll work into the big news of
the cloud space. Yeah. Okay, we'll start off with the games, and I'm hoping this will look pretty decent as well. I will just make it slightly bigger. So we have got a ton of games here coming, and the majority of them are going to the cloud. We have Phoenix Points. Not Point, just Point. Astria Ascending, Flynn, Son of Crimson, I Am Fish. Okay. Scapeguard, Aragami 2, Lost Words Beyond the Page, Sable, Subnautica Below Zero, Unsighted, Lemnes Gate, and some other game with Grail in the middle of it. First of all, we have to go back to 2 weeks ago when we called out Xbox saying that they didn't have enough games in the cloud, and the vast majority of them ended up in the cloud. I'm hoping with Phoenix Point and Lemnes Gate as well that they both hit the cloud. So I was pretty sure that Lemnes Gate was coming to the cloud.
I thought it was supposed to as well. I was quite surprised when I seen it pop up on the console and PC only.
Well, I wanted to mention that Phoenix Point, I believe, is only on PC at the moment. So when they bring it to console, they might bring it over to the.
That's on Stadia as well, as far as I know.
I believe so. Yeah,
and I think it has controller support there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see, but I definitely think there's a good possibility that Lemnes Gate and the what's that title called? I can't think of it. Or I can't see what it says. Well, the Unsighted or whatever it is.
Yeah, Unsighted, yes.
Yeah, I have a feeling that those two will probably come to cloud as well. I think they just might be struggling with, or they might be working on the port at the very least.
Okay. So go round to it. We'll go round everybody here and just have a wee yarn about them. Barry, go through your picks here.
I think my standout. I've probably got 3 games from this list that was one that I was looking, 2 that I was looking forward to that we knew was sort of coming into Game Pass anyway. And Aragami 2 and Lemnes Gate. I've been waiting for Lemnes Gate. I was really disappointed when it got delayed. But I'm really, really looking forward to jumping into that because I think that's going to be awesome. Likewise, Aragami 2. However, my absolute standout pick, hands down, in this list, and I'm so glad that it's come to Game Pass because so many people can play it, is Lost Words Beyond the Page, because that is an absolute gem of a game. You talk about those games when they kind of pull the art style, the gameplay, the soundtrack, the story, everything gets pulled together so nicely in Lost Words. It's a great little story, looks brilliant. I played it and finished it last year, and to be honest with you, I will happily jump back in and play through and finish this again because it is absolutely fantastic. So I'm glad that people with Game Pass are going to have the ability to pick this up and experience it because you absolutely have to. And it doesn't take too long to complete. It's kind of a weekend game where you, depending on how long you kind of sit down for, you might do it in one sitting, you might do it spread across 2 sittings, but it is absolutely fantastic.
Mute, yes. Maker, you touched on some of that there, Shirley. Any other else you want to discuss?
I think the really big titles for me has to be Subnautica Below Zero because I really enjoyed the base Subnautica, and I've heard good things about Below Zero. That it's pretty fun. Lemnes Gate looks really cool. And for the kind of smaller titles, I would say Sable and Aragami 2 are up there with me. I tried the Sable demo. It's a beautiful game. And then Superliminal, the one you're having trouble saying, that's a puzzle game. and that looks really cool. If you watch some of the trailers, it's all about like kind of exploiting the items to make them into. It's kind of like a mind game, where if you shift something in a certain direction, it'll unlock something else based on its visual appearance. So it's really cool looking. And one thing I did want to notate, I believe Flynn and Unsighted are both from the Humble Games deal that they just did. And Austria Ascending was one of the RPGs that they showed, I believe, was last E3, not this E3, which is a turn-based RPG, I believe. It looked pretty cool, so I might check that one out as well. Just a lot of good games the next couple weeks.
Cool. Not me, because I just say yes. Yeah, can I do? Yes, I can do things as well. Yes. Happy.
You know what?
Yourself?
I have to be honest. I know some of these games, but it's few. I will say I like No Man's Sky, and I've been playing Subnautica, the first ones. I'm looking forward to Below Zero. That's a game I've been trying to get time to play, but now it's on Game Pass. I have to jump in and play it. And when I saw this I Am Fish, I just curious what it is. So I'm going to try it out. But I don't know what it is. So that's going to be really, really curious what it's going to be. I have not read about it. But and what was the Phoenix Point? That looks great. And Barry, you're a good salesman because you got me interested now in the game. What was it? The page?
I can't be that good. You forgot the name.
Yes. Lost Word Beyond Page. Donkey was messing with me here. I was trying to remember the game. Yeah. So that's game.
This is just par for the course. I'm not even involved in things, and I still get to play them.
Yeah. No, it looks really good. I didn't pick it up on other platform, so now it's on Game Pass. I just have to try it, and everyone say it's a really fun game, so I'll take a shot and try it. I heard about Sable though, but I haven't played it.
Okay, I will go through this quickly from my end. I think we're getting an absolute stack of games. That's a definite increase in quantity of games coming, which is always good to see. I think, bar Lemnes Gate, I think Lemnes Gate would be the biggest game that are coming soon. I think it's a lot of game, nothing really out there really banging the door down for me, but we do know that the big games are coming for like Lost for Blood and the Forzas and blah blah blah. Because I've been looking at this, there's like 90 odd games coming to Game Pass, and most of them are going to end in the cloud, and a lot of these games weren't even announced as coming, so we know there's an absolute stack of games. What games will I play? I'm going to probably replay Lost Words to get the achievements. I'm looking forward to Aragami as well. Skatebird's an interesting one because I've been talking about Skatebird for other reasons here, and it's going to other cloud platforms, Luna, in this instance. So it's. There just seems to be lots of crossover, and we've got that with Lost Words as well and Phoenix Point. It's just something just to have a bit of a note at. But I think there's lots of games there which we can actually have a ton of fun with, and even if you're just jumping in for 5 minutes and giving it a blast.
Yeah.
I did want to mention one thing. This is basically covering three weeks, including today, because it ends. I believe Phoenix Point going to console was October 1st in the list, which is 2 weeks from now is Friday, basically. So we probably won't get an update for Game Pass until 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, that's a real good point there.
Mhm.
I wonder, do they have something big up their sleeves? Because the Battlefield rumors are still floating about.
Mhm.
When does
Maybe.
Battlefield? Yeah,
Isn't that soon? This.
Yeah, I thought it's in October, I believe.
Yeah.
I can double check real quick.
yeah. The new perks are out. You can get 1 month free of Fallout First, which is their upgrade thing. We'll move on to this because this is some good news as well. We've got more games with touch controls. 11 more games have been added. Medium, Raji, Chris Tales, Anno, That Stop, Halo. I'm in strange form. We've got 2 more Xbox, original Xbox games in Blinks and Crimson Skies, which is great to see. I love them going back in time and updating them. And we've got Tropicano 6. Yes, I just call it Tropicano. There's other orange-based projects also available out there. So, what do we feel about this? I don't think it's really much to say. Really,
It's great.
Hi, Andy.
I did want to notate. I looked up the Battlefield. Battlefield's coming out October 22nd, so most likely we'll hear if it is coming to Game Pass. It'll probably in the October announcement, if anything. But I'm still doubting that it's going to come, just because I think EA wants to get the most that they can with the new Battlefield. I could definitely see it coming down the line, but not on launch. As for the touch controls, back to touch controls, I want to see how they implement touch controls for Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2, because those are strategy based. If they allow direct touch where you can command the troops just by doing that, but I don't see them doing quite that yet. The super custom touch controls.
Yeah, that's something I wish there's gonna get in down the road, because that's gonna be just opening a whole other gaming situation on strategy games. That would be really good. I think it's great. I think this is great. Games to come to touch controller. All of these would work some sort of way on touch controllers.
Yeah, I think Chris Tales especially is a really good one, because it's a turn-based RPG.
Yeah,
I feel like I'd use that more so on the go than a lot of the others.
Last Step also, because it's a lot of just talking in a way.
Yeah, Polaris, we're just going over that there. They start to drop from tomorrow up until the 1st of October, so this was like a bumper sort of one. I would, again, the way Microsoft are, I wouldn't be surprised if we got like a mini one in 2 weeks, just as a build-up.
Well, I also wanted to mention we've got the Tokyo Game Show as well, that we're probably going to talk about later.
Yes, we'll talk about that later, because there is some news about expansions. So, with Barry, is there anything you want to add on to that?
No, I think we've covered that. I think it's more games with touch control, and I think that's absolutely brilliant, because there's more and more people are using it, so it can only be a good thing.
Yeah. We'll talk about this, the Xbox Game Pass quests. Go do your quests, get your points, and you can go get free stuff. You can get like a month's or 3 months worth of Game Pass for just doing these quests. It's really, really easy to do. That Forza Horizon one would take you about 2 minutes to do. They get the 5,000 influence. The State of Decay one would take you a bit longer. It all depends if you look out and get the survivors around you. I haven't done Black Desert, so I'm not sure about that one. And that Minecraft one, a couple of minutes as well. Yeah,
117 is nothing.
Yeah. So again, if you want to go do them, it's going to be great. Or it's not going to be great. It's going to be nice and easy, especially if you're playing it on xCloud, and that has got easier. Which game we're going to be coming to, and when that comes to consoles as well, you can just jump in and do that in a matter of minutes, and that's going to make them even more appealing to do. We will move on to what is leaving here. I forgot about looking at this. So we've got Drake Hollow leaving, Ikenfell, Night in the Woods, Cathy Rain just on PC, and Warhammer Vermintide 2. I'm actually surprised at Warhammer leaving, to be honest with you, because they actually kicked off a bit of saying how good Game Pass was for them. So I'm actually surprised about that. Barry, since you skipped the last section, we'll start with you.
I mean, it's something that we are getting used to now, is some of those games rotating out of Game Pass and having the ability to save 20% by being a Game Pass subscriber. I don't think there's anything really, I guess, that stands out massively for me that I look at that list and go, yeah, I'm gutted that's going. I'm perfectly, happy with the fact that those are rotating out. And I think the Warhammer Vermintide one, I know you've just touched on that with what they said about Game Pass. I think it would be interesting to see, from this point now when it leaves, it would be interesting maybe to see in a month or 2 months' time how the sales figures for that game then fare, to see how many members who have had it have now gone back in and purchased it because they've spent time with it.
That would be interesting to see. Maybe we'll hear from them, because they are a bit talkative about Game Pass and how it goes with things. Happy, you used to look like you were going to sleep there, so I'm picking on you now.
No, I haven't played any of these games, so for me it's I haven't touched any of these games. So for me it's okay for them to rotate out and maybe come back later. And if you are on Game Pass and you have an Xbox or a PC to play some of these games, there's always good deals on these games when they're leaving. So I think, yeah, it's okay. I have nothing more to actually add to what Barry said about this.
Yeah. Maker, what about yourself?
I've heard good things about Ikenfell and Night in the Woods. I have Night in the Woods on PC through the Epic Store. I believe they give it away for free. So I'm not too worried about that. Same with Warhammer Vermintide. I have that on PC as well. So those two, I'm not really gutted. It's just Ikenfell leaving. I might pick it up and try and play it and beat it before it ends on September 30th. But I did want to say, definitely check out Vermintide 2. I had a blast playing co-op with my friends. It's a lot like Left 4 Dead, but medieval. So you're using like hammers and swords and special abilities and stuff like that. It's good fun. And I also you mentioned that they praised the Game Pass and stuff like that. They're also supposed to be releasing Warhammer Darktide, their new game, which is from the makers of Vermintide, onto Game Pass, day and date. They announced that last year, I believe, with a Darktide trailer. So
yeah, cool. I'm just actually doing a test there. I don't think it's worked. Damn it! So, yeah. It is interesting to see if I have to stop saying interesting, sorry. But yeah, I want to see what is going to happen. They're going, oh, it did work! It did work. Yes. So again, that was me just getting things set up here. We have been trying to do some upgrades and stuff, so I just wanted to test that out. And that is not asking anybody to do anything. This was me just doing a complete and utter test. So yes, it's good to see that is now working. So do no one be donating or anything here. That was just a test. We will move on. Did that bing for you as well there? No.
The chat thinks you've got too much power.
Yes. Yes. I probably do. To be fair, I think I need to be taken off this. No, no! I told you, no! Don't be donating for the Harris.
It's okay. It's Canadian money, so it's less than your fancy Europe money.
Yes. Yes. So that's what I was doing there. So I actually just need to do some tweaking of that. So I will get that fixed. But thank you for Lars again. You don't need to do any of that. Shall we move on to the next section? So where do we want to head to next?
There's a lot we can go into.
Do you want to go on to talking quickly about the sale which is going on, or just leave that? And
we can briefly cover it.
Okay, just bear with us. Yes, here we go. THQ Nordic is having a big sale on Xbox. These games will not be available in Game Pass, or be able to the cloud, but you can now start picking up some of these games, and some of the savings are quite significant. So you can go check that out.
Including Darksiders. Darksiders 3 is a really good deal.
Yeah. Yes, I know you wanted to do that there. So we're into American money there, but as we can see, there is a ton of good deals there on THQ, and hopefully we will be seeing that in the cloud shortly. So there is a quick look at that.
Wreckfest looks fun,
and I think it's key to talk about these sales because of it ties into one of the other subjects that I believe we should cover about PC, the PC app.
Yes, we're coming on to that now. So this is the big news.
Okay, make it with the segues.
Oh yes, he's learning. He's learning. We will move on to this here. Yeah, you've got me all confused here. Maker flipping pushing stuff here.
He might not have any.
We got to go
pushing the real buttons.
we got to get through this just so that we can get to the important news.
Yes. Here we go. Go. Boom. There we're back. New updates to the Xbox app on Windows 10 PCs let you stream your console games from the cloud or your home console. There is a lot to actually dive into here, and there's news hidden in this news as well, if that makes any sense to people. So we'll kick off with the headline there. I was checking that earlier and I didn't have access to it as yet. So basically what this means is starting today for Windows 10 PCs, this isn't Windows 11. This is Windows 10. They have brought the cloud to Windows 10 as well. So you could be able to jump in and play your Game Pass games there. Also, you will be able to play remotely your Xbox from your PC as well. So if some agent, say, watching like Home and Away or something on your TV, and you want to go and continue your Xbox session, you can go onto your PC and stream the Xbox and continue the games, like even the games that you have bought there. Barry, why were you laughing there?
Because that sounded like a very real life example, Duncan. That sounds like maybe something you've maybe personally experienced. I could feel the anguish in the tone of your voice. And looking at the chat, it sounds like I was spot on.
I said nothing, Nick. But this is something which I have been looking forward to. Maker, you've experienced this already on Windows 11. Have you been trying it at any time? Is it still? Has it got any better and stuff?
I actually haven't played a lot of the cloud this past week. I downloaded Artful Escape and played a bit of that. Been a lot busier so I haven't played it. I do want to get back and play some Destiny on it because that's what I was doing originally.
I have this weekend.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I would definitely check it out and test it out and see how it's performing.
Yeah.
Happy, what about you?
Well, I played it. I've been having it a couple of days. I've been playing around with it, and the funny thing, I don't know if it's just me, but xCloud, you have the Rumble in the controller now, but I couldn't get that on the streaming from your xCloud, from your Xbox, onto the app. So that I found that really strange. But that may be just an update, and they just had to fix something to do it, because xCloud, it was you have more felt even better when you had the Rumble in the controller, and you didn't have that when streaming from your xCloud to your PC. So, and I think it is okay. It will get even better when update, because I had some issues a little bit on stutter some places in it right now. I feel actually that xCloud run a little better for me than the streaming from your xCloud to your PC, in a strange way, because it's in the same room. But I think it's a minor update. It might be something in my house that is doing it, that I had a little issue, but it was just a little bit. It was really, really good, but if I put xCloud a little bit higher right now than the PC streaming to your console anyway. So that's my experience right now with it.
Okay. Barry, what do you think about this news?
Yep, I mean, it's clear. It's great to see that they've rolled the app down to Windows 10 now. I've been using it on 11, and it's been clear week after week. It feels like they've been making little tweaks, little improvements. I very briefly jumped into Need for Speed Heat, Destiny 2, played through the app. And I start again, you notice that difference. It just feels like it's cranked up a bit. It's been running really well. And when I first had the Xbox app actually running in Windows, I was finding the browser was actually giving me better performance than the app was. But the way that they've kind of pushed those updates out, I'm now sort of finding the app is now starting to take over, like many of us probably thought that it would, and it's running really well. So, and I'm glad that, as I say, it's filtering down to Windows 10, because obviously that is, as it stands right now, that's the mainstream operating system for most people at home. So it's good that that's there and available for people to take advantage of it and kind of have another experience of what xCloud is like, not just on their mobile device, but actually on a PC.
Yeah, I forgot to shout out Cloud Gaming Extreme. Thank you for joining us in the chat as well. They are probably going to stick out a number of videos, and they have a massive giveaway going on at this moment in time, because they've just hit 10,000 subs. So absolutely congrats to them.
Yes,
just go check out their stuff there. For me, I think this is going to open up a ton of possibilities going forward. Just picking up as you go, jumping into your low spec laptop and playing the games. It just gives you more and more options to the game now. With Game Pass dropping so many games all the time, and so many big games coming as well, it's going to be class. I think what also we need to talk about here, and it's the games coming are, I'm not going to say snack-like games, but they're smaller type games which you can actually get in a couple of PlayStations. Maker, how long was that Artful game you were playing?
The Artful Escape's about 4 hours, so it was like a nice evening. I just sat down, and once I started, I didn't stop until I finished.
Yeah, that's what I'm sort of meaning there, is we're getting a couple of these smaller type games which would be perfect for it, in games you could just jump in, or you could pause or save them at great places just to jump in and jump out. And this is why it's so exciting to see where they are going with this. Again, It's going to be cool. Even the Xbox streaming to your PC from your Xbox or your Xbox to your PC, whatever way, you know what I'm meaning anyway. The Xbox Series X and even the Series S are pretty powerful compared to a lot of PCs out there. And bringing that there and being able to play them games, as we've seen there with the game sales there, you can pick up a number of games quite easily there for a reasonable price. And this is the next step we're waiting for xCloud is buying the games there, and we do know it's coming, and hopefully it will come sooner rather than later.
One thing I want to say that I found really, really fun this weekend, because the kids stole the TV, I could just stream my Xbox Series X to my laptop and sit playing there, and they could just go on with the TV and play with their PlayStation on there. And I think it's a perfect match in having to have this option that you can. There's no you don't need a TV to play this. If I want to play Witcher like I do now, that is only on my Xbox Series X. It is not on xCloud. I can just go on my Xbox, stream it to my PC, and it's super good, super fun.
Yep. Again, it's just class to have these options here.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here, I was just talking about more cloud gaming, blah blah blah. I'm just trying to find the actual wording here. No, it hasn't mentioned it there. Ooh, where is this? I'm just because they are talking about that it is going to Brazil.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yes.
Where was that?
Well, it's currently, I believe, in limited. I saw Tom Warren tweet it, but I don't remember what article he found it from.
But I thought it was within this one. Basically, what is happening here is it is going to Brazil. It is coming out from beta in Mexico, and it is rumored to be going to Australia and Japan shortly. This is pretty good news for gamers out there. The ones who I'm actually excited for more is the Australians. Because as we know, the game prices out there are ridiculously high. And with Game Pass out there and putting that into the cloud, that should maybe help a lot of the Australians to actually play a lot more games and throw that brand out there. Yes, there's loads of Australian gamers out there. It's more the price of games is just a wee bit bigger about that. So Barry, what do you think about this going out to these other countries?
Any expansion is great, and I think in the specific countries that they've got, we've got two there that you've mentioned, obviously, that sit in South America. Brazil, as we know, again, very similar, I guess, to Australia. The sheer kind of cost of living, etc. That Game Pass proposition in Brazil is fantastic. Similarly in Mexico as well. So it's great that we've got that kind of, we're starting to see those different corners of the world having accessibility to it. So I'm really, really excited, because that means that it's only going to mean that the back end of the xCloud services are going to be scaled up. Obviously, they're going to be localized, which the big thing is games, gamers win, isn't it? That, we talk about that all the time when we talk about silly season and the amount of content coming. What we're seeing now is actually we've got people pushing platform services, into populations that are absolutely crying out for it. You see countries, for cloud gaming, and they are going, they are sitting there shouting out for it. So it's absolutely fantastic.
Do you mind if I jump in? And
no,
I did want.
Yes, work away.
I did want to clarify a little bit. Tom Warren's tweet showed a post about how in the upcoming weeks that it's going to turn into beta from limited preview for Brazil, and it seems to be the same for Mexico. So effectively, Mexico and Brazil, you could only get in with invite only, basically. So only a limited amount of people had xCloud. It looks like it's shifting to an open beta so that anybody can, play as long as they're subscribed.
Yeah, so basically the same like it was here before, like it was first in the first. Yeah.
Australia and Japan still only have the limited preview, so they don't have open beta as of yet, and that's what Tom Warren was hinting at, that we might see that expansion out as well for them.
Yeah. Well, more gamers. That's just more people playing. That's just fun. So.
Duncan's
Duncan.
muted. Yeah,
there we go.
There you go.
Yes, I was mocking myself there. Yeah, I was just saying, happy you work away there. You go for a big. You talk about this because you want to get this going.
No, I mean it's great that more people it comes to more countries. When it comes to xCloud, I understand maybe that it's an closed beta or open for some, because maybe I don't know, maybe there's not that all over Australia the best internet. I don't know. I don't live in Australia, so I don't know, but they really want to get it to a place where you actually can play xCloud. So I understand if it might be in a closed and early access in a way to some gamers to try it out, but they're testing it, and it will get even better and better. Like it's been here, it's just gotten better and better. So I have nothing more to say. It's just good that more gamers get to play xCloud. I'm just happy for that. So.
Yeah, exactly. You work away there. This is just
a
free for all. You just jump in and shout at me and shout at Barry, shout at Happy, shout at Kelly, shout at everybody.
I did want to mention that since Japan hasn't been announced into the open beta as of yet, I think they're waiting on that for the Tokyo Game Show. And I think that's one of the things that they're going to show, because they talked about how they were going to have some new announcements there. Aaron Greenberg, I believe, said to temper expectations that we're not really going to see much from the event. So I think that's one of them, is that they're going to announce it's opening into open beta for Japan as well. So,
and I think that's the reason why they're also adding more and more PA games with touch controllers to the xCloud, because that market loves to play on their phone, and so it's a smart move.
Yeah, and especially at the Tokyo Game Show, that'd be the ideal spot to announce something like that, because that's when people in Japan will have their eyes on them, because Tokyo Game Show is pretty cool. I'm hoping to see some announcements for more RPG and maybe more Eastern style games being added onto Game Pass. So we'll see what happens with that.
Don't they have a Xbox studio some sort down there that is localizing Japan games? Or?
I don't know about that, but I do know that one of the teams at Bethesda actually is located in Japan. The one that's doing Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah, that looks really good. That game.
Yeah, the PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah. We have two now.
Yes. But are we going to be expecting anything in the next couple of weeks out from the Tokyo Game Show? Do you think that xCloud's going to be announced there, Barry? And are you expecting anything big coming from it? I know they've told us to temper our expectations, but what do you think?
Yeah, I don't. Very similar to Maker in that sense. It does feel like the perfect location to be able to go into that setting, at the Tokyo Game Show and say, here we go. xCloud is in open beta. It's there available for you. That in itself is a very telling and rightful place to sort of make that announcement. So I think when they are kind of saying temper your expectations, it's possibly because the news that is going to come from there is going to be tailored to that market. And there is nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, if you want to be penetrating that market, you want to be growing your audience, you want to be growing your market share, something that they've struggled with, then put the emphasis and the focus on a geographically located show that has that kind of draw, such as the Tokyo Game Show, and use that as the platform and the stage.
I feel Aaron Greenberg has always said temper our expectation. Yeah, we just
So I also wanted to mention something else. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a heavy push into xCloud for Japan, because not only do they like their mobile gaming, I think there's a lot of JRPGs on xCloud as well. I could definitely see them go, we have all the Yakuza's xCloud on your phone immediately. And to me, that's huge, because Yakuza is not on the Switch. So there's currently no mobile way to play that game.
Yeah.
Like, you can only play it through PlayStation and Xbox over in Japan, and PC, obviously.
They might go out also on stage and say they have a partner up with some of these Japan studios to make some exclusive deals. Maybe not an acquisition, but coming first to Xbox or something like that might happen, I think.
They're already working with the mobile studio, Timmy Studios, to produce apps, but that seems to be specifically for mobile. I don't see them creating any game from them for the Xbox, as far as I can tell. But I would love to see, not to segue into like Android apps on, but it would be pretty cool if they allowed Android apps like cloud streamed through like the xCloud app or Xbox Cloud Gaming app, so that there's like a section for console and PC games and then a section for mobile games. That way you can hit like both audiences.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. We've got a wee thing in the chat here. They need to fix the performance on it. Happy, what do you think of the performance?
If we're talking about xCloud, I have to say and this is just me saying, I'm going to be straight honest with you guys, I have had no issue at all with xCloud, because where I'm playing right now, I'm sitting right beside of the router, and for me, before they updated the server blades, I had issues. After the switch, I haven't felt any issues. I can't see the issues, and it's been running like flawless for me. I have had issues before with other that it's been good and now terribly bad. And it's like they flipped the coin. And actually, I found out a couple of days ago that Xbox have their server center right 4 kilometers outside my city. So I'm quite close to a server center also. So that's really cool. I think we have 2 actually here in Norway, one in Oslo and one in my city. So we're quite covered on the Microsoft side of cloud gaming.
Cool. Maker?
It runs okay for me. I still get better performance from GFN and Stadia, but for me, the PC app, the native apps tend to run a little better for me. When they first came out with the browser, I thought the browser worked better for me than the base app. But then once I swapped it over to the base app, the performance was a lot better. It was more responsive, so it felt the latency was tuned down with the native app, and so that's where I enjoyed it the most. I still get little graphical compression artifacts that will pop up, or the resolution will drop suddenly in certain aspects, and that happens for me. But I don't get any like drop in where your controls go out of control, something in that nature. Something oddly enough I experienced on Stadia like a week ago when I was playing Blue Fire, which I hadn't previously. Like I found that odd, but it's been getting better each time, it feels, with Xbox, and I'm hoping that it's just going to continue to improve. And you can really see it with the moves, at least for me. Like it's been changing almost on like a bi-weekly basis, where the performance might get a little bit better or might get a little bit worse, and it really feels like they're testing the service and trying to get an optimal experience. I mean, it's a beta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I would agree with that. And I think I still find you get a variation from game to game. It's not necessarily for me a flat out, I'm going to fire xCloud up and my performance is going to be standard across the board. You still have sort of between different game, either devs, franchises, whatever, you still have those dips. And I think very similar to Maker, the biggest thing I notice, it's not in terms of, any major lag spikes or kind of input lag. It always tends to be that artifacting, in terms of, it's seems to be either quite a dense area that you sort of come into, depending on what you're playing, or if you come into something at a bit of a rapid rate, you then tend to see that compression, that artifacting. I still get it, but it's better with the app, as I said earlier, than it is with the browser, and you can feel that evolution, that kind of that step forward. But again, we played Sea of Thieves. We did a Pirate's Life adventure, and I promise you, you wouldn't know that I was playing on xCloud. No. It was virtually unrecognizable. It just played like you'd expect, and that's the kind of experience that you want. I think what we're seeing is that period of, not only are they fine-tuning the service, you've probably then got the partners and everything that they're working behind the scene to make sure that the game optimization is getting better and better to adapt to the technology they're using to power xCloud, obviously.
And I just have to say also, when you play on tablet, for me, with touch controller, they're really responsive. So for me, it's really, really fun to play. I actually tried it also with just the control connected to the Android, and it works really, really well. So it's I have a lot of fun with it. I don't know what happened. It was just like night and day for me to play. And maybe my eyes are getting older because I can't see any of these architectures.
I'll agree with you on the Android app. The Android app is absolutely spot on, but obviously they've been working on that for longer. And I've obviously I've been opening out my fold so that I can kind of take advantage of the full screen size. And you know what? It's touch screen controls. I was playing Need for Speed on it, and it felt super easy to control the car. Almost natural, and then likewise fire the Bluetooth controller up, and it runs so well on mobile. It really does. You can just see those little increments. It's always moving forward, which is good. That's what you want to see. I think if we hit a period where we didn't see any progression, any developments, notice any fine tuning, that sort of stuff, ultimately you probably are at a good point when you kind of start to notice that less and less, because that probably means that they found a real good baseline for running the majority of the games, where you kind of like, actually, this is just, it's running, I'm noticing less updates. You know,
I'm really glad that they focused really hard on the touch controllers and all these customization with the touch controllers, because I think that's a big win to have that perfect.
I think the touch controls are a big entry point for mobile platforms because a lot of people do play mobile. When it was interesting because like I was one of the people that went out. I got a Kishi. Granted, I got a really good deal for it. I think I got it for like $60-$70 basically.
Nice.
And it came with the Bluetooth headphones too. So it like I got the Kishi and I used it maybe like 2 or 3 times. And then ever since then, I've just been using kind of touch controls. You know, pull up Hades and move around and, you know, try playing using that. And yeah, I think the touch controls are really huge. And a lot of people I feel don't understand that a lot of the cloud gaming aspect is going to be down to software, how they do their routing, how to optimize the experience to transfer this data at a really fast rate, but also extremely consistent is difficult to do. And all this is like software based. Like it's not necessarily about the hardware, like, because all cloud gaming is going to have essentially the same hardware. All of them have PCs/consoles sitting in a data center, you know, and then that gets fed up through the servers and then gets transferred over to you. That's all cloud gaming is. The only difference is how the software interacts with those PCs. And that's going to be the big defining factor. If they can get their top software engineers, their top network engineers working this out to make such an optimal experience, that's going to be the key defining factor.
Yeah.
Cool. We've got another wee question.
Yeah.
What do you think about MS building their X cloud stream tech by actual MS and engineers, but instead using Rainway? Who wants to tackle that bad boy?
that sounds like a maker one.
That sounds like a maker one. Okay.
Honestly, I can understand why they did it. Rainway's has been working on browser support for that type of thing. And I think Xbox are focusing heavily on the app, making sure the app on mobile runs fine, making sure the app on PC runs good. I think they just weren't bothered with having to spend the extra time and money into a browser, working on a browser support type thing, and they wanted to push it out really fast. So they just paid Rainway to help push with that. And I think that was kind of smart so that they could get into the browser space and into the browser game so that, like iPhones and stuff like that could access xCloud as well. So I understand this. It feels more like a short-term thing. I think eventually they're going to have Microsoft engineers work out a browser support. That way they don't have to pay for the tech that they're using from Rainway. They're a big company. They want to cut down money as much as possible, and they're consistently using the tech from this other company. That means they're going to have to pay them.
And the thing is, as well, is it becomes there's an argument there to say work smart, not hard.
Yeah,
And I think with everything that they've got to sort of everything they've got to focus on, you ultimately have to realize that something at some stage is going to sacrifice if you try and literally do it all. So sometimes there is that element of saying, well, actually, do you know what? These guys have been doing this for, a number of years. Let's leverage that. Let's utilize that, tap into it. Yes, it's a cost, but is it something that we can then sort of feed, they've obviously done their cost calculations as to whether it's cost effective for them to have that deployed right now, and then who knows what conversations are then going on behind the scenes. What are Microsoft learning? We know that they'll go deep in their pockets to, to go spending. You can't rule anything out. they could be working, with an end goal, like you say, Maker, to have that expertise, that skill set, and that development in-house, and kind of working through that process to make sure that they've got that level of understanding. Equally, they could be looking to say, do you know what? This is so good. We actually just want it. Thank you very much. We'll just buy it, and you come and be part of the Microsoft family.
Yeah, and I also wanted to mention real quickly, I think the main reason why, let's say, the browser doesn't work as well as the native app for me, I think a big part of that has to do with, since it's an outside source, there's specific resources and contacts that are different if you're within a company than outside, and being able to communicate is probably hindered a little bit. So I think that's why there's a little not as parity between the application and the browser support.
Yeah, I think it's smart to get the people that has the experience. It's like where I worked before. There we had I think it was 30 different companies working for us because they were specialists. We didn't want to focus on learning all these skills that people have maybe 50-year skills on. And why don't just do it like that and get it working fast and quick? So I understand that. That's a smart move for Microsoft to get it done right. And they can, like you said, start working behind the scene on their tech also down the road. So
Cool. My thing is, it's not reinventing the wheel. They've got the tech there, they can use it. But again, it's not just Rainway they're using their own stuff as well. It's a mix and match of a bit of both. They're still absolutely hiring a ton of people for xCloud. And if you actually go on to LinkedIn there, you can see what they're doing. Railway's part of it. It's not the only thing there with it. So it's really, really fascinating, and it's going to be great to see how this is all going to end. So, yes. Who was going to say something?
No. I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, you're just agreeing and such like. With that, sorry for annoying people in the chat. We're trying to get more interactive things going on here. It's not quite working 100% here. We are going to be having some sort of cloudy points system that it's getting everybody's points for us here, and I can tell you there's a load of people have already got a ton of points, and it's good to see this. We're just trying to add these wee features as we go. We're just always trying to improve, and so thank you for bearing with us tonight. Is there anything anybody wants to end on?
I'm going to talk a little bit real quick about the Redfall leaked.
Yeah, that's about that.
Some leaked images have surfaced about Redfall, and it's looking like it's going to be a looter shooter similar to Borderlands, with several classes. So that, to me, that looks pretty interesting, and I think that's going to be fun to play with. I just hope that the world is super interesting, because to me, a lot of the Borderlands have kind of grown a little stale on me and feels a bit monotonous.
Yeah, this is early build, so the leaked images is early builds. It's like coming next year. So
summer. Yeah. So up to September.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to say this now as I remember before I get murdered. This time next week.
Whoa! You remembered.
I remember. While I remember before people go off on another tangent, and I'm not complaining about tangents now. I'm not complaining about them. This time next week, we are going to be having a Xbox play along for members only at this slot, depending on how many people want to join. Depends how many different crews they are, but we've got an idea how to get around the servers. I'm not sure if it will work or not, but we're going to give it a try anyway. So if you want to join us and you're a member, just let us know and we will get you the details. It'll be in the Discord, which you can check out below. I'll try and find the Discord thing. We are doing this. This is a members perk, and it is going to be Sea of Thieves because we've had a couple of members actually say they want to join us on a Sea of Thieves adventure. It's not going to go well. It's not going to go well. So that will be next week. But the good news is, if Maker's with us next week doing it, he is a pirate legend. So apparently he knows what he's doing.
Just a little bit.
So we will set off in the Seven Seas next week, and that won't be on stream. I think we're just going to play that with people. I don't know. We'll 100% confirm that, but it is members play along next week.
Yeah. I think we're also planning on some more kind of member stuff so that we can push out to them. I know we've talked a little bit about it, but hopefully we see that in the coming weeks as well.
Yeah. Got lots of member stuff coming, actually. I was just thinking about it. You were sitting talking about that, and then I was sitting thinking about a conversation I had with Duncan last week, and I was like, I need to do something about that.
No. Oh, no, I don't want that. I just remembered what that was.
Yes,
but again, do you not feel like you have to become a member or anything like this? This is just some extra sort of things you won't be missing out. This is just more on top of things, and the play alongs are for any members at all, and we've got it at a low fees, probably the wrong, a low membership price of £1. £1 gets you access to all this extra stuff. So again, I don't really like pushing any of that sort of stuff, but it's just it's just we're just trying to get more equipment for everybody and things like that, and running costs and more games to giveaways and everything under the sun.
Yeah.
I was working for someone to save me there, and no one has decided to save me.
What you're trying to say is we want to keep pushing the boundaries on that content. We want to keep getting better and better, and
push out more and better content for our users.
Yeah, definitely. You see some of the things we're trying tonight, and this is, just small baby steps in the direction of where we want to head. And, God knows we come up with some really big ideas behind the scenes, and, and there's a lot of work goes into them sometimes. And, it's fun. And it normally starts with Duncan saying, I've got an idea. And then...
Speaking of ideas, we may have some announcements in the coming weeks about something. That's the stuff we've already been talking about and we're working on already. It's stuff we're already doing. That's all we're doing. It's the stuff we're already doing. But I've just remembered about something I need to talk to you afterwards about.
Okay.
Yes.
But thank you all for watching. I'm digging here. I want out from this digging sort of scenario here. I've got new wee videos to play. I'm just having